Um, so some of the challenges that Ringwood has overcame through this period.
Yeah, look, probably one of the main ones, obviously, like a lot of clubs probably would have been, was with the council, obviously following government and
Hmm.
restrictions, etc.,
Yep.
closing down access.
Yes.
That was the biggest thing, and being able to get approval to get back on the pitches.
Yep.
We were lucky enough that the local council was pretty quick in responding.
That's good.
By the Thursday, Friday, the announcements came out. By Tuesday night, I was able to train.
Yeah. Wow.
Um, but getting that over the line very quickly, it took a lot of work from the president and the committee really
Yep.
pushing to get the access. But in saying that, we obviously get limited access now.
Yep.
With the time restrictions in between practices,
Yeah.
it was minimum 15. As a club, we want to do the right thing, so we're actually doing a half an hour gap in between training, so
That's
people
good.
can leave and not cross over.
Hmm.
But what that does is obviously give you less time on the pitch. So
Yeah.
a lot of teams actually still haven't been able to do a training session
No.
because we don't have that much time on the pitch.
Exactly.
Then there's also the issue, obviously, with now, providing sanitizer and having access in different gates and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The club, obviously, that's a cost to the club. That's, volunteers. As you know, in state leagues, it's pretty much all volunteer run.
Exactly.
So these people have to do quite a lot of work to try and get us back even for that limited time on the pitch. Other hurdles, I know you were looking, we were talking about even things like now registration.
Yeah.
The FV is saying if you want to train, you have to be registered. But a lot of the juniors hadn't started yet when we stopped. So we've had to now rush registrations in as quickly as possible.
Wow.
Not only to train, but then also FV saying the latest is, by June 15, if you got to tell us if you're going to have a team or not. That's next week.
It's crazy.
So the state league has felt like it's been a little bit sort of rushed to. We've been waiting to get information, and now it's whatever has come out has always been like you've got to be really quick on the timeline now to respond. And as I said, we've got all junior and even senior registrations have to be finalised by next week.
That's crazy.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah. I mean,
that's where so the committee is our club is doing everything they can through team managers, through coaches, etc., to make sure that everybody's on board. And so far, it's been fantastic.
Yep.
We're getting registrations done as quick as possible. But also there's families that are second guessing about whether their kids do want to play. There are some kids that have pulled out this year.
Oh yeah, I know. Yep.
And that's going to happen at every level. But that costs money to the club too. That's loss of income. There's canteen to go with that. There's sponsors to go with that. State league clubs sponsorship is so hard to come across as it is, and sometimes it's very minimal. These sponsors obviously want to get something back from that sponsorship. If we're only having a 11, 15 game season, that's less exposure to them.
Exactly.
It's been delayed. We're not starting till July. The last 4 months, they've had no exposure for what they've paid for or were going to pay for. So I'd be interested to see what sort of impact it actually has even going into next season now.
That's a big one, yeah.
That's where I'm a little bit concerned about what happens next. We might get through this season, but will that impact on how sponsors and other people think about next year?
Exactly. That'll be an interesting hurdle when it comes around. Especially, looking at sponsors next season. I think he even talks about will clubs still be around? Will certain clubs make it into next year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some clubs, the smaller clubs that survive on, the small group of players that they have. So, and especially with,
Yeah, I've heard that, there's already a couple of teams that they're not going to compete this season, regardless of what type of season it is.
Exactly.
There's quite a few state league teams that have pulled out completely. Because they're going to lose money.
Oh, yeah. And I think I'm looking at looking at some clubs that are solely senior focused on the lower end of scales. Like people have lost jobs, people don't have that income, they can't pay regos. That's going to be another issue.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's an issue with us. We're trying to accommodate. We've made payment plans and things like that for a lot of our players as well, to help assist them to still, be able to get on the park, because we know, for a lot of people, this is their outlet.
Exactly.
That's the thing with everything going on in the world, for myself included. Football is our outlet back out into the society, back out onto a park, breathing fresh air. So we're doing what we can as well to get them back on the park. And I did see that there's a 20% off regos from the FV. That's something. Could be more, but we'll take what we can.
Exactly, at this stage. Last piece of question. Are there any things that other people could do to support what's going on, either clubs or the federation, or just the outside community, that can help clubs in this time?
Look, I think, as I mentioned before, I think a lot of it's going to have to do with having the faith with the clubs to get back on the pitch. So, families having the trust that the club's going to do everything they can to make it a safe environment. And so therefore the kids do continue training and registering. The existing community sponsors that were there, making sure that, even for us, I can give a plug. Greenland's one of our sponsors. They do fruit and veggie and things like that. We were making sure that we were telling the families, if you still need fruit and veggies, go use them. They're our local. They help us. We have to support them back.
Exactly.
And I think there's clubs everywhere I've seen on, Facebook and all over the place that, they're constantly, mentioning their sponsors, because we need each other just as much.
Exactly.
And at a time like this, it's going to be huge that communities and local communities get together and support each other. And football is just another way. A football club is another support group.
Exactly. And I think that's perfectly said there.
The players get the most out of it without just making them run. I don't believe in just making them run. You need a ball. So finding the exercises that you can do with a ball, but still keeping, 1.5 meters apart from each other with 20 blokes on half a pitch can be challenging.
I can imagine.
Spend quite a few weekends coming up with sessions to make sure that I've covered every angle and one player's not going to run into another. That's never a concept I've had to worry about. So, in that sense, it's been good. It's made me think more as a coach. Which has
definitely
been, good. I've thought about my sessions really in depth, I guess, to make sure that I'm achieving what I want, but I have to think of a different way of achieving it.
Exactly.
Which is the whole thing why we do coaching, I guess. Or I do anyway, to experiment and try new things and get to play the way you want to play. But how do I teach these guys to do it?
Exactly.
So that's been an interesting challenge, but an enjoyable one at the same time. So
and it's also a really good learning curve, when we come out of this for everyone.
Yeah, and I've got plenty of different drills now that I never used before.
There you go. There's some bright light out of this.
Exactly. And I can use them all. They're pretty much any pre-season type drills. So, I'll use them for years to come.
Exactly. There you go. Cool. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us and giving us insight into a different perspective of what's going on. I think the more we talk about this, the more clubs aren't feeling as alone and go, okay, we can really get back behind each other and support it. Yeah, like I was saying, we're all in this together. It's not.
It's all about football.
Exactly. And the sooner we get back out then, and